Imagine this. You are in a meeting discussing your latest tech project, and your team looks at you like you are speaking in ancient Greek. You are explaining complex feature, but instead of yes moments, all you get are confused stares. If this sounds like your reality, then you, my friend, are not alone. Effective communication is the unsung hero of successful tech project. It's the glue that holds everything together, from the initial brainstorming session to the final product launch. Hey there, welcome back to the channel. I'm Satya, your guide through the wild world of tech and corporate life. Today we are diving into a topic that can make or break your tech projects. Effective communication. That's right. We are talking about making sure your brilliant ideas don't get lost in translation. In this video, we will cover the essentials of effective communication in tech projects. We will discuss why it's crucial, how to get your message across clearly, how to avoid common pitfalls, and how to leverage communication tools. Plus, I will share my personal experience with a communication hiccup that nearly turned my project into a circus act. So, grab your favorite snack and let's get started. First up, let's talk about communication challenges in tech teams. It's like trying to solve a puzzle when the pieces keep changing shape. You have got developers speaking in code, project managers speaking in deadlines, and designers speaking in colors. No wonder things get lost in translation. You are explaining a complex feature to a non-technical stakeholders. You use terms like API, backend, and user interface without realizing they are lost in translation. It's like trying to explain quantum physics to a 5-year-old. Ever had a meeting where everyone's nodding along but no one's actually on the same page? It's like when your code works perfectly in your local environment but crashes in production because you missed a tiny detail. The key is making sure everyone understands the project goals and their role in achieving them. Why is effective communication so important? Well, imagine you are building a spaceship and your team thinks you are actually designing a fancy coffee machine. Not ideal, right? Clear communication ensures everyone is on the same page, which helps in meeting deadlines, avoiding mistakes, and keeping the project on track. Think of it this way. You are leading a project to develop a new app feature. If you describe it as innovative and user-friendly, but your team interprets it as something that looks cool but it's hard to use, you might end up with a feature that's more "what were they thinking" than "wow, this is amazing." Effective communication in tech is like using GPS for a road trip. Without it, you might end up in the wrong town with a car full of confused passengers. So, how can you communicate effectively? Here are some tried and true techniques. Be specific. Instead of saying "make it better," say "enhance the user interface by adding a search function and improving load times." Use visuals. Diagrams, flowcharts, and wireframes can be lifesavers. A picture is worth 1,000 words, especially when explaining complex features. Clarify expectations. Set clear goals and deliverables. For instance, if you want a feature completed by Friday, don't leave it open-ended. A deadline helps keep everyone accountable. I once worked on a project where I simply told my team, "make the dashboard look nicer." After a week, they presented a dashboard with a neon color scheme and animated graphics. It was definitely nice, but not quite what I had in mind. Think of these like cooking. If your recipe says add spices but you don't specify which ones, you might end up with something that tasted like a science experiment. Effective communication also involves using the right tools. Here are some must-haves. Tools like Jira or Trello help keeps everyone on track and make sure tasks are clearly assigned. Slack or Microsoft Teams can streamline conversation and keep discussions organized. Google Drive or SharePoint allows for easy access and collaboration on documents and designs. Imagine trying to coordinate a team using only email. Things can get lost in the inbox. Using a project management tool ensures everyone knows who is doing what and when. It's like trying to assemble IKEA furniture without the instructions. Using the right tools makes sure you don't end up with extra screws and wobbly table. Now let's talk about active listening. It's not just about hearing words. It's about understanding the message behind them. Imagine your code has a bug and you are only half listening to the stack trace. You are bound to miss something important. Active listening means fully engaging with the speaker. When a developer explains a problem, don't just nod. Ask questions, clarify doubts, and make sure you are on the same page. It's like debugging sometimes. You need to dig deeper to find the root cause. If you are tuning out during meetings, you might as well be speaking in Morse code. Active listening helps prevent communication breakdowns and keeps everyone on the same wavelength. Now let's talk about some common communication pitfalls and how to avoid them. Assuming everyone knows what you mean. Avoid jargons and acronyms unless you are sure everyone understands them. Overloading information. Too much detail can be overwhelming. Stick to the essentials and provide more information if asked. Ignoring feedback. If your team has questions or concerns, address them promptly. Ignoring feedback can lead to misunderstanding and mistakes. I once sent an email with a detailed project update, including every technical term and abbreviation known to man. The response I got, "Can you explain this in English?" Turns out I was the one who needed a translation. Think of overloading information like trying to water a plant with a fire hose. You might be enthusiastic, but the roots will drown. Lastly, let's talk about communicating with non-technical stakeholders. This is like explaining your project to someone who thinks JavaScript is a type of coffee. When talking to a non-tech folks, avoid jargon and focus on the big picture. Use analogies they can relate to. For instance, if explaining a software feature, compare it to something familiar like a feature in their favorite app. Remember, non-technical stakeholders are not looking for a deep dive into your code. They just want to know how it will make their lives easier. So, keep it simple and you will keep everyone on board. Let's talk about a time when I almost caused a mutiny on my project team due to a simple case of miscommunication. Imagine trying to explain a complex recipe without listing the ingredients. That was essentially what I did. I was once leading a project with a tight deadline. I sent out a detailed email with all the instructions. Unfortunately, I didn't realize my brief was as clear as mud. My team ended up working on features that weren't even in the original plan. The project became a bit of a circus, with everyone running in different directions. That's when I realized the importance of clear, specific communication. After some reflection and implementing better communication practices, things improved. We started using clear tools, set up regular check-ins, and made sure everyone was heard. The project turned around, and so did my perspective on communication. Suddenly, everyone was on the same page. This experience taught me that effective communication is more than just talking, it's about connecting, and sometimes the simplest explanation is the most effective. Building a culture of communication is key. Imagine a team building a house. If everyone isn't on the same page about the blueprint, you may end up with a wonky structure. Encourage regular check-ins, foster open discussion, and celebrate successes. When communication is part of the team culture, it becomes natural and effective. It's like having a well-orchestrated symphony where every instrument plays its part in harmony. So, to wrap it up, effective communication is key to successful tech projects. Be specific, use visuals, set clear expectations, practice active listening, leverage the right tools, and avoid common pitfalls. Build a communication culture and don't forget to listen to feedback. Thanks for turning in. If you found this tip helpful, give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more insights and navigating the tech world. Stay communicative, stay productive, and remember, great projects start with great conversations. See you in the next video.